Alright, tubes. I don't really know where I left you off here. I'm not sure if this is a new video here or if I got something I can put at the beginning of this. But either way, in case this is a new video, as you can see here, we got the Miata on the lift here. And the turbo is going on either today or tomorrow, depending on how long what I need to get done takes. So what I got going on right now, obviously I have to get the stock headers out of the way. And so the hardest part probably of this whole project, probably going to be getting these bolts right here loose. Fortunately, I've already got them done. They were pretty rusted. I had to bring the work pipe out. That's that thing right there. I call that the work pipe because we use that when we're really working. But we got them loose. So that's I just got to loosen that up a little more, and that thing's ready to come down. And then the only other thing is these pipes are held on by a little bracket that bolts to the bell housing right there. So I got one of the bolts out. The other one's partially out. The problem is it's running into that little that bolt right there. I was going to try and not take that out if I didn't have to. So what I'm going to do here is once I get this out, I'm going to try and lift this up a little bit and relieve the pressure off of that top bolt there, and I might be able to get it out. Otherwise, we'll just have to get that bolt out there. But once that's out, should be able to lower it down off the lift, take all the manifold bolts out, and get that out of there. So stay tuned. Alrighty, so I was able to get all those bolts out of there. So down underneath, everything's unbolted. And so now I'm just unbolting the manifold from the block here. And so far so good. It's going pretty well. I did have one of the studs come out, not really a big deal, but the rest of them are going very well. The nuts are coming right off. So I've got a couple more to go here. Got to take the O2 sensor out, and then this header is going to be ready to come out of here. And one other thing, the EGR, I got to loosen that up. Not sure what I'm going to do with that. There's a couple different options for the EGR. You can just do away with it altogether and block it off at the manifold. The only problem with that is if you have the stock ECU, you will throw a check engine light, and of course, you'll have an emissions issue there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that yet. I'll probably temporarily block it off and eventually get a new tube and get it hooked up again. All right, I heard somebody wanted to see the work pipe in action, so here you go. And we just go ahead and put one finger on there and put another hand under here so it doesn't fall on the paint. And boom, we're loose. Alright, there's something else we got to do here before we get this manifold off of here. And what that is this heater hose here. Right here, it's a rubber line. But then it hooks into a metal line down here. And what we got to do is that gets a little close to the downpipe when the turbo's hooked up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a pry bar while the manifold's still here and use the manifold as a fulcrum to pry this metal thing as far back as we can go. And start prying this thing back and just get it as far back as it can go. EGR is unhooked, all the bolts are out, nuts, studs, everything. So I think we're ready to pull this manifold out of here. Yeah, boy. That's what I'm talking about. Alrighty now. So now that manifold's off there, we're ready to put the turbo manifold on. And if you didn't know it already, I'm going to be using a fine Miata cast iron manifold. It's a real deal right here. It's obviously used, but it's cast iron and there's no cracks in it, and it's not really a whole lot else that could go wrong with it. And so I'm going to go ahead and install this. Where the car is sitting right now, it has to be moved. It can't stay here for the night because another car has to go in its spot. And so what I'm going to do here is, I'm starting to run out of time, so what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to put this manifold on, and then that might actually end up being it for the night. Alright, sorry I had to go away there for a minute, but there's a spot on the end of this manifold for the EGR tube. You need a different EGR tube. But it's there right now, it's plugged off. But either way, that sticks out a little bit, and so is getting in the way of the dipstick. So what I've done is I just bent the dipstick back a little bit, and then I can bend it back. I didn't bend it too far, but bend it just enough to get this thing on here. And so we'll start putting studs and nuts in. I'd say it's looking pretty good on there.